Welcome to Finding Your Worth From Within, the podcast where I'm going to be helping you up-level your life, find your true self, and ignite the best version of you. I'm your host, Sana, your go-to self-worth mentor, facilitating hundreds of women to unlock your self-belief, master your emotions, and take back control of negative thoughts. We're going to be covering everything self-worth for South Asian women, how to ditch your self-doubt, kick other people's judgment to the curb, and learn how to finally use your voice clearly and with confidence. With the practical tools and spiritual teachings that I give you in this podcast, don't be surprised when this magic begins to massively elevate your life. So whether you're going for a walk, driving home, or listening with a cup of coffee, let's get stuck in. Hello. I cannot wait to bring you today's episode. It is so juicy. Oh my God, the insights are amazing. So in today's episode, I have actually collabed with another podcaster. Summer Kang from the #1 podcast, Inner Wealth, has joined me and we've answered all of the questions that we get in our DMs. So we are bringing you the best in spirituality, the best in self-development, and the best in self-worth. I cannot wait for you to get stuck in because we're answering the questions you gave us. So let's get stuck in. My name's Sana. I'm your go-to self-worth mentor and I help South Asian women unlock their self-belief. And we do this via mastering your emotions, unlocking your self-worth, and taking back control of those negative thoughts.
I'm Summer Kang, the host of Inner Wealth, a #1 podcast in self-improvement. I help you level up your life every week, talking through a decade of knowledge compact into short little episodes for you to change your life.
So Summer, let's get stuck in. I'm so excited about this because we have, like I just said, got the juiciest questions come in. So should we get started, yeah? So the first question here is, my husband is a high performer and has high expectations of me in daily life. It puts a lot of stress on me and I feel drained. I just want peace in my life and I don't know how to deal with it. What is your thoughts, perspective, and inner wealth on this?
Okay, so to touch first on the peace part, the thing I've come to realize is that often people think peace will come at the end of a busy day or when the kids grow up a little bit or when I find a bit of time to make peace. But actually, we must start with peace. And from peace, we are so much more magnetic in our day-to-day life. So when we prioritize peace, as this lady is trying to do, she's starting in a good place there with wanting a life to just be peaceful, because then we can be more present, we can be more in tune with who we are, and it's just a wonderful place and thing to prioritize.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the husband having high expectations, obviously that needs to be communicated.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it and you can kind of feel about, he's kind of expecting me to do a lot, but you haven't actually, voiced
communication is so key for all aspects of anything in everyday life.
Absolutely. And talking about how you feel as opposed to you're doing this wrong, because that's just going to create a angry contest where we're going back and forth and it's not getting anywhere.
Completely.
And being open to just listening to what he has to say, because actually so often of the time we create such big stories in our mind that actually when you talk to the person it isn't always accurate.
This is so true.
Our feelings get involved and it disrupts the truth.
It's you're exactly what you just said. Your feelings get involved, it disrupts the truth, and you're assuming that they're thinking something that they might not even have in their head.
The assumption,
right? But with this one, I feel she said her husband's a high performer and he has high expectations of her in everyday life.
Okay.
That for sure, like you said, has to be communicated. Yeah. You've got to communicate I appreciate you are a high performer. I appreciate this works for you, but actually this isn't working for me because it's really, really draining. But the other thing I would kind of go into with this is, and this is just coming from touching base on experience with clients and stuff, the fact that she feels she needs to live up to those expectations, perform.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So that is obviously something within her that she feels she needs to do. It's that feeling not good enough, feeling like she needs to be perhaps validated. Maybe she doesn't want to be validated, but the need to perform, the need to meet that, yes, you've done this, rather than actually communicating and saying, this actually isn't for me, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So for me, with this question, I would say to this follower that you need to check in on where it is that you're feeling like you need to perform.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're not good enough unless you reach his expectations?
I think definitely, because really how you're feeling now is the surface level as a result of the things that have bubbled underneath.
Yeah.
And actually it always comes down to those main few things, which is like, if you don't believe you're worthy, your self-esteem, and that all starts with you. That is not his job to sort out. And I know this sounds really harsh, but it is just how it is. So I'm going to say it as it is, which is actually there's something in you that believes you must perform to be worthy of either his love or just be accepted.
Or the peace. Peace. Maybe she's performing for that peace.
Yeah. When actually taking some time to reflect on who you are and actually the value that you bring just by being who you are, who you've been sent to be.
I love that.
And also, if he is a high performer, and I totally understand this because I come from high performing parents, like there is pressure, but I see like one parent is so energetic and a big doer, and one is more very balanced, and actually that you need both and they're both very high performing still. Some people are that more very energetic, very getting it done the minute like it's said. And then you have other people who are more of the creative, the peace, and then it works not just in a marriage, but obviously in this situation in a marriage, but it can be in a business partner, or it can be the two parts of yourself that are...
So this is really interesting because, I mean, it's not a straight up answer for this follower when she's saying, how can I deal with it? But really, she needs to be comfortable with who she is. And if she's not the doer, be comfortable with being
the peace.
The peace.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So, and then what we'd say is communicate that, right? Communicate. And communicate, say, look, that's your way of doing things. This is my way of doing things. But first, before you communicate, you need to be strong enough in yourself.
And you won't be unless you do that inner work.
Yeah.
It always
love
is.
It. Love it. Love it. Right.
Okay, perfect. Okay, this is a fun one. What do you think the soul's journey is after someone passes?
Okay. This is such a big question. I feel like it's such a... and I feel like, I'm not an expert in soul or spirituality, but after my dad passed away, I feel like I have a better understanding of what I think happens. So I think the soul's journey, I do feel like our soul is reincarnated. Like I believe in that it comes back. We have many lifetimes. But I also believe that each human, each life has a spirit attached to it. So imagine like your soul being this big thing.
Okay.
And then, so Summer is going to have a spirit. Aman is going to have a spirit. The dog is going to have a spirit. The cat is going to have a spirit. But that is like an element of our soul.
Yeah.
It's like a piece of our soul gone into that body.
Right.
When we've passed, I believe that our soul as a whole continues on into another body, reincarnates, but an element, a fragment of that soul remains as the spirit of that person.
That we recognize them to be. Yeah. To bring comfort to the souls that are still incarnated here.
So that's what I feel like,
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I think it's...
That's how I believe, and that's how I live my life in. Like, I use my dad as an angel guide.
Yeah.
Great. But I still know he's been reincarnated.
There. I think that's a real sweet spot where it's like the idea of reincarnation and the soul has gone is really scary and daunting for the people who are now here and have to grieve that, because it's like, hold on, you've just left me. You've gone off to live another life. And it makes this experience feel like, was that even a thing? Because like they were here and now they're gone and they're carrying on. And what happened to you're my dad or you were my sibling and you're just going to carry on without me. But also there has to be an element of that soul when it is almost visiting, whether that be in dreams, through like mediums, that we recognize that feels comforting to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's so much that happens, but there definitely is this reincarnation that happens.
And it was really weird because when Dad passed away for a few months, I felt like I could feel him quite closely. And it's a really strange way of describing it because I could just feel his energy, and I was just like, okay, Dad, I know you're here, it's okay. And there was times very close to when he passed away that I would probably visualize, and whether that's me making up in my head, whether it was actually him, like to me, I'm like, I don't care because it brought me comfort, so whatever. Right. But then a time came when I was like, I don't feel Dad as close anymore.
And he's probably gone off.
That's where I came up with this theory. I was like, oh, I think he's been reincarnated.
Yeah.
But since then, his spirit like comes into dreams.
And even if he hasn't reincarnated into another life yet, he's just gone higher up to
yes,
merge with God
that was
again.
it. Like at the beginning when he first passed, he
Yeah.
was quite close.
Because time doesn't exist up there. These are all human
Yeah.
elements. That there is no beginning and there is no end.
Yeah.
It just exists.
But we kind of have fun with it as siblings. We're like, guys,
Yeah.
what do you think Dad is now? Like, where do you
No,
think
yeah.
he is? What's going on with him?
Yeah, I love that one. Like, he's a cowboy in another life. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think talking about it lightheartedly is important as well
Yeah.
because it is heavy and grief is just this huge amount of love and we've got nowhere to now
Yeah.
place it and you can't hug the person, you can't gift it to them, you can't, and it was reserved for them.
Yeah.
It's that spot that they had in your life. But to be able to, you go through all the motions of grief, but to get to a point where it can be fun and lighthearted and
Yeah.
actually, how cool is
We
this?
try and do that with Mom especially because
Yeah.
Mom's like, I miss him. I was like, Mom, I'm really sorry to say he's not missing you. He's cloud hopping.
He's living his best
He's got so many friends to meet up there. Like he's having the time of
I
his
love
life.
it. Yeah, it should be fun when we can get to that place of
Yeah.
it being fun, because otherwise all we're doing is infecting this current life and actually then not coming back.
Yeah.
And it hurts, and I'm not going to take away from that, but actually we can continue to live a life that is bringing them in a embodying the
Positive
good parts
way,
of
yeah.
them, or we can just let it heavy us forever and ever until we go.
Yeah.
And that's not as fun.
No, it's not. And it's really, like you said, the word heavy. It's
Yeah.
an infectious in a negative way
Yeah.
feeling. Like feels
Yeah,
really
it
dense.
lingers and it's hard and it
So that's what I believe happens with the soul journey.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely if people haven't explored it, because I know a lot of the time people kind of just shut the conversation off.
Yeah.
Because there isn't an actual answer. We're
No.
talking about this, and then you have the Abrahamic religions that believe in heaven and hell.
Mm.
And just to add to that, because I know there will be people who have similar beliefs to us, whether that's because we've come from the same religion, or actually just they've got to that point
Yeah.
through their own self-discovery. But to the people who hugely believe in heaven and hell, I believe heaven and hell exist here on earth.
Okay.
And
Oh
dependent
my
on
God, it's a whole new question.
dependent on what we do, and actually living a life dependent on what we do in this life for an eternal after that, again, we don't know is true or not, actually kind of dooms this life. It heavies this life, that every time we do something, oh, I'm closer to heaven, now I'm back to hell, or whatever it might be, when actually heaven and hell exist right here in this realm, depending on what we do. And our karmic interactions are as a result of the things that we have done. So if we do good things, we're going to live them out now, not necessarily in heaven in
Yeah.
afterlife. And if we do bad things, we're living them out now. And if all that karma can't be collected here, you reincarnate and you do it again. So actually, I find heaven and hell very quite an enclosed way of looking at life, and almost like a heavy way that everything I'm doing is
Good
because
or
of an
bad.
eternal
Yeah,
after, and I'm there
that's so
forever.
true.
And actually, if God is, omnibenevolent, as we're taught in things like the Bible, all loving, then it's not loving to be in a place like hell forever. That isn't, then it contradicts.
You'd like to
Whereas
think you can
actually-
work your way out.
Yeah, and we're creating in every moment in this life, in this realm. Focus on being here, because this is the gift.
This is why I love you. Like the words that come out of you. How are you so young and you're the oldest soul in the youngest body ever?
I've reincarnated a few times.
You're like this old soul with all this wisdom, and I'm like, yeah.
Don't worry, sometimes I say something like, shit,
That was good.
okay, perfect.
Right, next question. All right, this was a good one. I mean, they all are. Okay, have you noticed people go through some sort of hardship and then go through a spiritual awakening?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think in some ways I'm a bit of an anomaly here, because it was just like birth, boom, straight into this life. But
You were born and you were talking about souls already.
Yeah. So I feel like I have to put my experience aside, but from like the hundreds of clients we've worked with, probably between us, all I see is this like very painful thing happen for somebody, for them to start, either questioning, is there more to life, or they've experienced a close death, or they've experienced, a big illness themselves.
Yes.
Or they get to a point where they've made all the money and they're like, now what?
Yes.
Like, now what do I do with
What's
my time?
life about now?
Yeah. And I think, in some ways I've been...
Hardships can be relationships as well.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, relationships that we have been placed in are often there's some sort of karmic entanglement, because we've been placed here in each other's lives to grow. And as much as it is about love and all the goodness that comes in relationships, because love is also very healing, people are placed there to help us to get better. When we came and we agreed to come and to incarnate, we said we want to evolve in order to keep getting closer and closer to the qualities of God.
Yeah.
Which means we have to be put through
The
trials and
hardships,
tribulations to grow.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
and you know,
And to learn the lessons, to evolve.
exactly. And
How do you know that this is good if you haven't received the hard?
You need
How
the
do you know that this is
polarity.
fucking amazing?
Yeah.
I love my life. If
Yeah.
you haven't sit and cried.
Yeah. And begged God
Yeah, to give you that.
Yeah. So absolutely, I think it's really easy to label things as good or bad, but actually just seeing them as they are. Yeah. Nothing is good or bad if you decide that everything happening in my experience every day and every minute is helping me grow.
Yeah.
Everything.
And not only that, I feel like some hardships are meant for a perspective change. Yeah. Some hardships are meant to like just shock you and be like, what am I even worried about?
Yeah.
What is going on here? Or like you said, death, grief often brings out a lot of kind of spiritual awakening in people and searching. What is life? What's going on here? And I often speak about I'm mentioning Dad again. When he passed away, that week was a week of incredible spiritual awakening for me. Like I always knew I was quite spiritual and I always knew I was empathic. Yeah. But in that week, and I always talk about this, I experienced communicating with him while he was in a coma.
Right.
And like
How
that
amazing.
energy and that doing that and experiencing that would have only come from so much heartache and so much like needing for it to happen right now. Yeah. So sometimes maybe it's something that just needs activating within you.
Yeah, you need something to crack you. You can't rise from the ashes if nothing burns.
If there's no ashes.
Yeah,
if there's
something's got to burn.
Yeah.
So I think, in the moment, and it's so easy for us to sit here now on the other side of it, but I get it. I've been there and it's horrible and it's hard. Yeah. And, I joke and say I must have been here a few times to have this knowledge, but actually a lot of it's come from a lot of painful experience. And in 20 years, I feel like I've lived so many different experiences that have hurt and they've killed. But actually I decided I can either be like doom and gloom and this is I went through this when I was this age and this age and this age and that's why at 50 I'm not learning and growing and I'm doing the same to my kids. I can heal and I can grow and I can help someone else.
Yeah.
And that idea was the thing that just fed me. I was like, no, I can help someone else.
The first seems so restricting now, and I know like many people live their life like that, and it was maybe a place where I once was many years ago, but now having done the growth, thinking about being restricted and not growing, it's just like, oh.
And it's the best feeling when you're like, I would have responded differently to that a year ago. Like, I've grown. It's such a beautiful experience. It's so personable and it really cultivates that love for yourself and the enjoyment to get to be you. And part of that self-mastery journey is pain and suffering.
Do you know what, like you just said, it's so nice to be like, oh, I wouldn't have said that or I would have dealt with it different. That for me, I think it hits home more when I know I've changed. I know I've become more confident and got my self-worth. But when I talk and when we're having conversations and my husband will say, yeah, but I mean, you weren't that person back then or you wouldn't have said that back then. I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Recognize, like you would have dealt with that so differently then because... And that for me is like, yeah, actually. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I forget that I was such a different person.
Yeah. It's so fun. Yeah. It's like just the most magical thing you can do for your life to go deeper than just what you're presenting in your life as who you are right now. There's so much more to us as humans.
There is. Really is. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I thought that you'd like the last few.
Yeah, there's a few there. It's cool. Okay. My job makes me feel drained. I don't love it, but it ticks all the boxes at the moment. I think it has slowly been knocking the confidence out of me and I don't know what to do.
Okay. Now, this is a big one because I feel like there's so many people that live life just to, like, are in a career because it ticks the boxes. Yeah. First of all, it might tick the boxes because it's what you're supposed to be or the route you're supposed to take. Secondly, it could tick boxes because for many of my clients and people I work with, it's like, I've got young children, I've been with this company for ages, they're really good for me, and they're flexible, so I'm just dealing with it at the minute. So what I would say to this person is, first of all, check in with, are you at this job for a season of your life.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because if you're in this job for a season where it ticks the boxes because you can pick the kids up from school,
Carry on going
carry on.
forward.
Yeah. If you know that once I get to this stage or the kid's this age, I'm moving on because it's not me, then that's okay because you're in it for a season. You don't love it, but it's serving you for some reason. If you're in a job that you're just plodding along and it's draining the life out of you for no reason, then what are you doing? Babes, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah.
Check in with yourself. Like, what is it that you love doing? Go and find, and some people say, but I don't know what I want to do. And that's okay
also
as well.
good as well, not knowing what you don't want in life.
So go and explore the things that you like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying quit your job and woo. I'm saying go and explore things you like so that you can understand, yes, this is for me. No, that's not for me. This is great. That's not. And ask yourself deeper, why are you in this job? Like, if it's not for a reason, if it's not serving you, is it because
You don't believe you're worthy of a better job?
is it because you're not worthy? You don't believe you're worthy of another job? Is it because it's safe to you?
Yeah.
Is it because you were told you were supposed
meant
to
to
be
have
in this
this job.
profession?
Right.
What is it that's keeping you in there? Ask yourself, check in with yourself, reflect,
Yeah.
and ask yourself those questions. What is going on with me? Why am I doing this job? And if it's draining you, and if it's draining them, more than likely they're going to have some sort of other whisper in their head of something they should do, or a business they should
you
do,
to
or a
be- yeah.
project, something, Go and explore it. Still do your job if you need it. I know financially it might be the case that you've got to continue with that, but go and explore the project, go and explore the new business, because if that's what lights you up, it is going to fulfill you and is going to ignite that light from inside of you.
Yeah.
So go and just explore.
Yes. Yeah. Do the thing that sets your soul on fire.
Yes.
I think first let's start with what you were saying and touching on self-worth and all these things. And, you know, I understand if you have kids and responsibilities, when I'm coming from a 20-year-old perspective where like my biggest responsibility is to get my ass to the gym. But beyond that is you have to ask yourself, you have to recognize the gift that being here is. Like, yes, there are hardships. Yes, we all struggle. Yes, we're here to evolve. But past that is such a cool opportunity to live.
Yeah.
And you know, no one like you have never existed before in the billions of people that existed before us. You won't exist again. We're such a small we're such a small snapshot that no one is going to remember you. No one. And, you know, of the millions and billions of people who have existed, we maybe remember 3
like
or
who
4.
are you trying to impress by staying in this job and slugging it out?
And everyone else's responsibility is their life and your responsibility is your life. And if someone else's happiness is dependent on your actions, that isn't your job to figure out. They need to like reevaluate, you know, and figure out that.
I love that because that is such a Gen Z opinion. It's like you said, from a 20-year-old perspective. And that I love that about the next generation. And we've got viewers that do overlap in age and stuff. And I think that's what my generation is going through at the moment, so that your generation can have that opinion that actually, that's not my responsibility if you feel like that.
You know, it's not to say don't, you know, disregard your loved ones and things completely, but it's definitely to say that had I been what the Asian community would have wanted of me, I would not have helped a lot of people around the world with my words. And, you know, I thought I can do this and I can be stuck doing a job that I don't really enjoy. Or I can do something that I actually enjoy.
Well, we've actually got another question that's similar, and I feel like let's go into that because it overlaps.
The GP question.
Yeah.
Okay. My parents want me to become a GP, but I want to be a locum. I want to have the flexibility while I'm young and travel, and they want me to have security, but I feel bad letting him down. How do I tell him without being rude?
Yeah.
I'm
I
assuming
assume
it's a
dad, yeah. Okay, so that like overlaps what we were just saying. And I think what happens is, in this scenario, there's clearly, again, a lack of feeling like she can communicate. Mm-hmm. There's the expectations of the parents and what they want from her. Yeah. And I think she mentioned security in there, that her parents are saying become a GP for the security. Yeah. That's that generation's like the way they
Mindset.
think, their mindset, yeah.
And they're not wrong for that. When they came over, that
They
is the
needed it. It's
goal.
based on
Yeah.
their experiences. And that mindset is based on their experiences. So I would say bring some understanding to where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Show that understanding when you speak to them, that
Yeah.
I get it, I understand it.
Yeah.
And then come in with what you want to do and
Yeah.
explain what that flexibility looks like, what that locum looks like,
Yeah.
so that they can understand. And maybe their opinion is important. So maybe you can have that flexibility and be a locum, but with a plan for security too.
Yeah, I think it's not about disregarding the older generation at all. Like, I get meetings
still
with my
wisdom,
parents,
yeah.
and they've still done something right. And actually, there's so much that can be learnt from the older generation who have lived. And yeah, of course, they're going to have certain mindsets and they're stuck in their certain ways. You know, I go to my nanny's every week and still, like, there's certain things I'm like, lady. But there's so much I've learned, and actually hearing from lived experience rather than, and we can learn from them before, like, without having to go through it ourselves, like just hearing and listening, and then as a result evaluate and look at ourselves. I think also it comes from, a lot of the time, you have to really trust your ability to give yourself that life that you want.
But so like you just said, that actually if you'd have gone through what society wanted you to be, you'd be very different right now.
Right.
But also, you wanted to be homeschooled, so you went through something similar. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I didn't know if I should bring in. Yeah, so I had a really awful experience at school, which if anyone from school saw, they probably thought she looked all right to me. But the internal experience was quite, really rough. And for a long time, I wanted to be homeschooled. And I just kept getting, like, brushed off. And it took 5 years to get there, but I did manage to get there in the end. And I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and I knew within myself, I think there's certain things that you know for your life that are right, and that was one of them. And so we had no idea what we were doing. My mom just said, okay, she could just see this distraught kid, and she literally said to me, like, I cannot watch my child just keep withering away anymore. We will figure it out. And so we had literally no idea. We were starting
because back then homeschooling wasn't as popular. Now it's becoming more and more
popular.
I
feel like, especially with the movement of, like, this kind of conversation, it's like, okay, actually, hold on, we're just being put in a box and brainwashed. But I really believed in it, and I was like, I will figure it out. And even if it's worse than school, like, I've done it, and it was on me. I made that decision, and I'll deal with the consequences. But as of right now, this is not working for me. And it's one of the greatest blessings that was from my parents and from God that happened, because I wouldn't be who I am now as much. I don't think I would have the confidence, because I would have still been in school and cared what people thought. Whereas they might see what I'm doing, and I have heard people see, and they're like, what is she doing? But you're over there and I'm right here. And homeschooling for me, just in the format that I did it, I had a lot of free time. So, like, I was spending probably 10, 11 hours a day on my own, studying alone. And so that left a huge gap where I can either fill it with, like, mind-numbing things or really go on this self-discovery journey. And I was, like, walk for hours, I was training, I was reading, I would meditate. I had, like, a whole schedule of things that I was doing. And it took me down this I can't even explain it.
It was like you did self-discovery, like, 10 years earlier than it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Other people do it, right?
And so as a result, then when it came to, career-wise, I was like, no, I really believe in this, because I've really figured it out for me. It's not to say, like, I'm not still figuring it out, because as we evolve and change, that's ever, that's always going to be happening. But I got to a place enough where I was like, no, actually, like, I have a gift and I have something that I can share with the world, and I can be of service to humans by pursuing something that is actually a little bit more. I love
that. So for the audience that messaged in with that question, I think we'd say believe in yourself. Like, relating to the story you've just told, believe in yourself, communicate it clearly, but take understanding and respect and the wisdom of your the parents, and I think that are trying to help you.
Throughout the questions, there's a lot of just fear. Like, there's so much fear. Just ask the question. Like, I can't explain to you how many uncomfortable conversations I've had to have over the last, like, 5 years of, like, oh, I really don't want to have to do this.
Yeah.
But you have to, in order to protect your peace, in order to grow, in order to get what you want in life, you're going to have to say things that are uncomfortable,
Yeah.
not rude, not nasty, that are just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You have to have the uncomfortable conversations, whether that's the conversations with yourself, with a partner, with a loved one, with a friend, a family member, whatever it may be, even with someone at work where you say, look, I'm really adding value here. I want a better job. I want to be.
Yeah, but you got to have the guts and the courage to say
but
it, right?
sometimes we can do all the inner work that you like. Fear is still going to be a little bit there. So you've just got to do it.
And you know what I would say? Sometimes you can, I mean, like you're saying, have the courage to say it, but believe in it yourself.
Yeah.
Because for me, if you're going to say it without believing yourself, if you're going to say, I can do that, let me do it, or can I, you know what, I deserve a raise, you've got to really believe that you deserve the raise, because else it's going to land flat because that energy isn't behind it and you don't feel it yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, shall we have a look at the next? Okay. Which one should we do next? I feel like that's the... Oh, this is a good one. Okay. This is funny because I see this pattern a lot with clients. Yeah. I feel like when I get nice things or receive some unexpected money, my first reaction is that I shouldn't have it. Ooh. Is this self-worth? Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've attracted it into your life, so in some way you are worthy. Because if you didn't believe you were worthy, it wouldn't have come in.
Yeah.
But then on now the surface level of I've managed to attract it, so something went right. But now dealing with the consequences in your brain, you kind of just have to sort your thoughts out a little bit there.
It's a subconscious belief, isn't it? Like you're saying, you're attracting it, so it's coming to you, but subconsciously you don't feel like you're maybe deserving of it or worthy of holding on to it. So that's why you're feeling like, what do I do with this? Oh my God, panic. And something that I always say to people is, imagine money is a friend or a relationship and think about how that relationship would look. And the minute I say that, they're like, oh my God, I'm really mean to money. Like, oh my God, I really avoid. Like, imagine that was your friend. How are you treating it?
Keep
like,
avoiding the bills.
Do you know what I mean? That's what, imagine that's your friend or a relationship, and then think about how you're reacting with that energy of money. Because again, like stuff like this, I had one client who, this was a couple of years ago actually, they were going on holiday and she was looking through these 5-star luxury resorts, and she goes, as I was looking through all these luxury resorts, she goes, I just had this pang of, who do you think you are?
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, like, who do you think you are going to these? And she goes, straight away my head went to my cousins, because like for her, that's where it kind of came from. And I was like, ooh, let's...
Yeah, because sometimes they're not even your thoughts.
They're not.
There's so many times I've seen people just absorb the thoughts of people around them.
Yeah.
And they're carrying them as if they're them.
Yeah.
And actually, when we like shed that off, there wasn't anything deeper other than that wasn't your thought to be carrying.
Funny enough, when I tune into clients, when I kind of, because the way I do it is I tune in and I'll see that energy field and I'm like, ooh, this isn't yours. I'm like, look, can we get rid of that? I'm like, let's get rid of that. Okay, where is this coming from? This isn't yours. This isn't your belief to carry.
Yeah.
And I often use a backpack scenario with that. I'm like, these are not yours, so put them in a backpack and put them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is so true. Like I said, that client, it was like, oh, it's my cousins. They're going to think, who do you think you are? And the more we believe in ourselves, the more worthy we feel, the more we will attract things like money, luxuries, nice things. And that's because we feel like we're deserving. We feel like holding on to them. Now, consciously, you might feel that, but subconsciously, there could be a belief that is niggling away that doesn't, maybe it's a safety thing. Maybe people don't feel safe to hold on to it. And I would say go back and think about, is there a story that you've seen or heard
That's
about
the
money?
biggest one for money that we
Stories,
see.
right?
So people will come in and they can't get past like 150k in their business, for example.
Yeah.
They just keep getting stuck. And often it comes back to childhood where they might have watched a parent make a lot of money and lose a lot of money. So 6, 7, 8-year-old them incorrectly absorb that as there's no point because I'm just going to lose it anyway. So they're just constantly stuck at hitting 100k in their business.
Or another story is money's easy to make but hard to look after.
Okay, yeah.
So like they attract it,
But then
they
they
don't
quickly
keep
spend
it.
it.
Yeah.
They find a way to quickly
Yeah, and it's because it's a safety thing, so they don't
Yeah.
feel safe with that money. Oh my God, what am I
Yeah.
going to do with it? Da, 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 da. So it comes, but then it goes.
It goes but actually, that's like a really good, easy problem to have compared to I can't get the money in.
Can't get it in, yeah.
Yeah.
So at least
Because
you
all
can
you've got to
attract
do,
it.
yeah, is flick your brain a little bit with the thoughts.
Someone's so easy. Just flick your brain a little bit.
Because it is like sometimes it isn't that complicated. A lot of these things,
Sometimes
it's just
it
ask
isn't,
yourself
yeah.
a deeper question. Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
You don't have to like you don't need to go to a
Sit for
therapist a lot of the time.
hours.
Yeah, and like meditate in the Himalayas. No, just go. Okay, I'm doing this. Why? And just.
And reprogram
Oh yeah,
it.
because when I was a kid, there you go. Answers. Just
The
once with
reprogramming
a
can
love.
take a while, but you're right. Literally asking yourself the right questions
But
can give
once
you so
you
many answers.
get to the root, the reprogramming is so much easier because you know, oh, that I've released that. So all I have to do is just keep reminding my brain, and all you're doing is building that new pathway to go, oh no, we're happy, or we're whatever it is, to be like, oh, I kept getting rid of money because we've figured that out. You've done the hard part. Now it's just, oh, the money's coming. Okay, I'm not going to quickly go and buy a new sofa.
Yeah, once you've got the awareness, right?
It's just going to chill for a day. I'm just going to watch it in my bank account, matter of fact, you know?
Save
rather
it,
than trying to
see
quickly...
it building up.
Yeah, get rid of it. So,
Love it.
yeah. It would not be an episode with me if we didn't talk about law of attraction. So I'm going to pick that question. I see so many TikToks on law of attraction and so many people talk about it, but can you break it down and how do you actually manifest?
Okay. So this is a question for you, really, isn't it? But, okay. What I say about manifestation and law of attraction is there is so much out there, isn't there? Like there's so many different reels and TikToks. And I think the basis of it is that when you've let go of the crap that you're holding on to for so long, you're vibrating at a higher frequency.
Right.
When you're vibrating at that higher frequency, you're the same match for everything you want.
Ooh, I like that. A really simple way of doing it,
Just a really simple way.
Because actually, a lot of the time, between the thing that people want and them is resistance.
Yep.
That resistance can be many things. It can be the unworthiness, the low self-esteem, the trauma that you're carrying, whatever it may be. And all your job is to do is to remove the resistance.
So the way I see it, that is exactly it. I see if in your body you've got, obviously we've got our chakras, right? We've got our energy points, and built up emotions are in those chakra points, right? Because like emotion is energy in motion.
Yeah.
So if we've got negative emotions, whether it's fear, resentment, guilt, anger, all these things, they cause blockages in us. And I feel like once we release them, the energy gets to flow better.
Right.
And once the energy flows better, it
Those
brings
things flow
in
to us.
space for that manifestation. It brings in space, because otherwise there isn't space for those things that you want. The resistance, I feel like the blockages is the resistance.
Yeah.
So once you let go of that resistance, once you release those emotions, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Do you know what? I've actually got space for, because otherwise you have these situations living rent-free in your head. And they're on repeat, and that's all you think about. And once they've gone, once you've worked through it, once you've let it go, there's space for something else to come in, and that is your manifestations.
Yeah, I think there is a lot out there, but it is very simple. And I used to do it so much as a kid and didn't realize. So then I started studying it. And as a result of studying it, I felt like everything slowed down. But it was because I was now overthinking everything. All it actually is focusing intently on what it is that you want.
Yeah.
You know, strongly, I want, I don't know, whatever car it is that you want. I want that Porsche. And deciding that's what I want, then you don't have to figure out how it's going to come to you. That isn't your job. Like, why would you give yourself an extra job? You just keep thinking about it and you notice other Porsches. That's a really lovely Porsche. And instead of saying, oh my God, why has he got a Porsche and I haven't? I'm so happy he has a Porsche.
That is the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, why have they got it? I want it. It's
all you're
like,
doing
oh
is
my
create.
God, I'm so happy for you. I'm
You're
so
creating
happy
the
that you've got, yeah.
And you're slowing it down for you.
And because you can see it, it's like,
that's a sign.
It's a sign that you're on the way to it.
Yeah.
But I think a really important thing to put there is, yes, it's in your head. We don't want to think about it like it's needy. We don't want to be, because I always
we're
say
not
like,
coming from lack.
yeah,
we're
not
coming
from lack.
Like one of my favorite ways is to like I'm already living that.
Yes.
So before I was a number one podcast, I was a number one podcaster, you know.
Love it.
And I attracted it at 19 on the day of launch. And I was like, And then
I'm a number
you're
one
just like,
podcaster.
I'm a number one podcaster. There's so many
It's like an
things
inner
that.
knowing.
Yeah. You just decide, like last year I was like, I want a new car. It's gonna happen. Got a new car. Like it just happened, and I was like, oh, and how it came to me, I was like, oh yeah,
it's
I'm
not like
driving
should I, could I, and I think it's like I said, not a needy energy, because I always say, if you imagine the universe again is a friend, and imagine you've got a friend that's like, please can I chill with you, please can I chill with you, please can I chill with you, you're like, oh my god, back off, like just chill.
Yeah.
Right, so you're not kind of like, oh, I need this Porsche, I need this Porsche. You're not like that. It's like, oh my god, wouldn't it be really cool, like I'm gonna have a Porsche.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
already
gonna...
happened. You're just in. There's already a timeline. You've got it.
Yeah.
So all you're
If it's
doing is
in your
moving
head,
timelines. You can
yes.
have it. Like you wouldn't have had that desire placed in your heart if
you
it wasn't
haven't already
attainable.
had it on some sort of quantum level,
There
right?
you go. So you can't actually meet with thoughts that you couldn't have.
Yes.
So once you hold that thought long enough, more thoughts like that will attract. You
Yeah.
only have to hold a thought for 17 seconds and more like that will come into it. If you couldn't have it, you wouldn't be able to have that thought.
Yeah.
So look at your thoughts and what you're entertaining and what you keep giving energy to, and then send that desire out into the universe, and then you've got to let it just happen and don't keep knocking on the door.
So the way I kind of manifest as well is, and I think it's big to mention this, we co-create. So it's not about, oh my God, I'm just thinking it's going to happen. I mean, you both know this, right? Because we co-create, we take action. It's not about the how. It's not about figuring out, oh my God, I want this, so I'm going to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and this is exactly the way it's going to happen, and this is it, or whatever. Yeah. It's about, so okay, let's take the example of the Porsche. It's not like saying, I want a Porsche and I'm going to do this, get it from this dealership and do that. It's not about that. It's about saying, okay, I'm going to have a Porsche, and then opening yourself up to opportunities.
All you've got to do is open your awareness up, because now life will present you the opportunity of the thing you need to do to get there.
And the other thing I'd say is, we're just going on this example because we started with it, touch it, feel it, go in and see it.
Yes,
live it.
I love that.
So you know, you can feel, you can. And I did that when I bought a new car. I was like, okay, this is the car I want. I'm going to go sit in it. I'm going to go feel it, and I'm going to go want it.
Yeah.
And that's also what I say to clients when they're manifesting. Let's give an example of something that's not tangible. When they're manifesting self-worth or confidence, like, feel that confidence.
Yeah.
I take them to a place where I'm like, there's going to be somewhere in your life that you felt it.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that. Let's re-feel it.
Yes.
Feel it in your body, re-feel it, because it exists within you, because you felt it at some point. So I want you to re-feel it and let it run throughout you.
Yeah.
Because that's there.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, then you can come back and you can feel it again. And then tomorrow you can come back and feel it again. And like I said, the more you feel it, then the more you will attract.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think there is a lot out there, but it is actually very simple.
We've said it's simple and then we've talked about it for 10 minutes.
I know. No, it is though. It's like deciding what you want, having the good feeling thoughts about it, letting the universe sort it out, and all your job is to notice things that make you feel good about the thing you wanted.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't need to be hard, and you're doing it all the time anyway. So it's not manifesting, oh my God, this is a new thing. You're already doing it. If you look at your life, you have created this through your actions and through your thoughts. If you don't like your life, change your actions.
Yes.
And change your thoughts. This is what I'm saying. It is simple. I know we're talking about it. But we're talking about it to explain
So when we're
it.
saying co-create, those actions are what you need to change to create. So, for example, if we go on, how do I manifest confidence, or how do I get that? Change your actions.
Yeah, you have to actually, you can keep sitting there, I'm going to be confident, I'm going to be confident. Or you can imagine that version of you that already has the confidence.
And do what she's doing.
Yes.
Oh my God, I absolutely loved today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed.
See you later. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Finding Your Worth from Within. If today's message resonated with you, it would mean the world to me if you could follow, rate, and leave a review. Sharing the podcast with someone that you feel may benefit is the best way to help it grow and spread this important message. To stay connected between episodes, come hang out with me on Instagram @Mentoring. Can't wait to see you there.